Mamma mia! Mamma mia!
Nope. Nope.
Mamma mia!
This episode is sponsored in part by PTZ Optics. Why hire a camera operator when the control is in your hands? Visit ptzoptics.com for more information. And by NewTek, makers of the TriCaster TC1. Stun your viewers, not your accountant. Visit newtek.com for more information.
Wow, this is kind of feeling a little bit weird. We're not used to doing this, but we're back with another Game Masters.
Excited to be back here.
Yeah, we don't get anybody used to this. We're not doing it Fridays. It was just I had an interesting week this week.
I know it's been a little hectic and crazy over here too, and travel and life happens and different things, but I'm excited. We'll pretend like it's Wednesday, but it's on a Friday, so let's party it up and let's enjoy it. We're talking about something fun, and I cannot wait today.
Yeah, so let's throw it out there. If you guys are in the chat, whether you're in my chat or if you're in Brandy's chat, say hi, say what's up, do whatever. We want to give a shout out to you guys that are here. right now I can see, and just so everybody knows, I'll give some people some time to do that. Brandy and I are streaming on many, many different platforms. So don't hate on us if we can't get to everybody's chat. The main chats are on our YouTube. We're constantly evolving the chat. I've got some things, Brandy, in the works where we can grab your chat and bring it over and show it on a lower third too. So there's some things I'm going to be working on in the next week to hopefully get that. But hey, episode 3, we got a lot of submissions of game rooms. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I see over here, at least in the beginning, I got X-Men Shadowcat, CC Games CEO, and Bono's Tecmo. They're the only ones that wrote in the chat room, but I do see there's a bunch of people. Who do you got on your side?
I have X-Men Shadowcat as well, popping on in. The Rushmore Show, we have them. Hey, welcome, welcome. We have Ryan Oliver talking about the intro and how interesting that is. Mr. Gretzky, Ernesto, we have Stephanie in the chat. Marbs man, that was like a tongue twister for a minute. He said, hi, Marbs here. And Omar, we have Eric, Crime Fighter. So all these people are coming on in. Welcome, everyone. And, we have plenty that we're working on to, just keep making everything a little bit more interesting each episode. And we cannot wait.
I know it's gonna be pretty awesome, and we want to give a big shout out to the community. Thank you guys for sending in the submissions. We reached out and we were like, well, are we gonna have anybody submit game rooms or tips or anything? We actually did. We had a lot of people reach out and a lot of people submit tips and their game rooms and stuff. So, it reminded me, Brandy. Do you remember the show that used to be on TV called Pimp My Ride? With Exhibit.
Yeah, that was interesting, and it wasn't quite as what it seemed.
No, it's funny because I feel like this is going to be an episode sort of like that, right? Where we're doing it, not pimping my ride, so to speak, but we're going to be showing everybody's, game rooms and what they like and some of the things that they've done to prevent natural disasters. And Retro Albo, Waka Waka in the chat room. Retro Trade is here. Brian with the small comment. Those that know, and the Rushmore Show saying hello from this side too. Awesome. We're glad we're going to actually be on the Rushmore Show, you and I, in January?
Yes. Big things coming.
Yes.
Definitely excited. It is a little bit ways away, but make sure you guys, go ahead and check them out. Follow along. They do great, fantastic stuff too. And we'll eventually be on there. So make sure you guys are subscribed and checking them out so that by the time that happens, you're there watching.
So you can tell I don't keep secrets very well. That was one of the, I probably shouldn't have said anything, right? Is that one of those things I should have been like, hush, hush about?
I don't know. If you're here now, you heard it.
I'm sorry.
So...
Yeah, you heard it. But hey, I do want to say though, I do finally, I always pick on Brandy about her height, especially in person, right? We mess around because I'm much
super tall.
Exactly. So the funny part is I know somebody that's actually shorter than you.
Wow.
You do too. You know him very well. In fact, to the point where I actually thought he was inside the Mario statue at Torg last year.
I remember.
And
yeah.
I went over there and he was talking and Mr. Retro Trade himself, Brian, it's a me. So Brian, I think he's actually, if not the same size,
Yeah, that was pretty funny. We did like a whole bit there. In someone's video it was, and you were like looking away and you're like, who is talking? And you were like looking right over the height of him and Mario. Like,
it was a lot of fun.
Something? It was pretty fun.
It was one of the big Marios like you have in your game room. Brooklyn Menace in the chat room as well. No, Rushmore said no, shout it out. Cool. So I don't get in trouble this time. This is nice. I'm used to getting in trouble, so no trouble here. But so I have a little bit. I told Brandy ahead of time. I was like, I have a little story. So the reason why the show got moved, I had to travel for work this week. I actually had to head over, believe it or not, to your part of the world in a sense, the East Coast of the United States, right? Because I'm over here. I'm almost
far
Midwest
away in the world.
Well, for me, it was a far, far away. It took me almost 6 hours, and I'll kind of show.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it was not fun. I got to make sure so I don't get nailed with copyright here or anything like that. We'll be able to talk over this, but yeah. So this was the extent. So after I drove across the state, when I got to State College, this was my trip from State
Oh,
College
no.
all the way to almost Philadelphia, Westchester, PA. It actually was raining harder than this, and this was when I just decided to film a little bit, doing it. Probably shouldn't have filmed, but I was trying to tell my wife, I was like, this is awful. This is like the worst trip. So it took me almost 6 hours to get there on Tuesday.
That's terrible. That's what it was like, with the horrors of the game room.
Yes.
Floods, things like that. So that is that's pretty terrifying to watch.
Then on the way home, which I got home yesterday. It took me just about 5 hours, and I got home with no problems. But with the construction, so guys, if you're traveling this week and you're going down the Siege, which I'm sure we're going to talk about a little later, leave a little bit earlier because there's a lot of construction going on, especially on 95. If you take I-95 down, and yes, you'll see CC Games CEO. Don't let him sell my Mario.
All right, I'm going to buy it.
No, you
Just
can't
kidding.
buy it.
Just kidding.
He goes, I'm driving 10 hours this week to Southeast Game Exchange. That's too long for me. I went to Tennessee, and I was like, let's see here. Brooklyn Menace says, you were not too far from me if you were in Westchester. I didn't know you were near there. If I'd known that, I would have told you. Yeah, I was actually in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. That's where my work headquarters is. So that's where, if you know where that is.
I don't even think that's that far from me either.
I think we figured it out. What was it? Not to give it away, because I don't want people to pinpoint where you live, but
under a couple hours?
Under a couple hours, you probably could have made it there. Yeah. So, because we discussed that, but you had a lot of stuff going on anyways because of family and things like that. So, anyways, we're here. So I didn't have a huge pickup thing. We'll get to that later. I know you didn't really have a lot either, but we did get a. I'm still waiting for CC Games CEO to do one of these, but we had this video submitted this week. Check this out. So he did that for us, and for some reason there wasn't audio on it. I'm gonna have to go back. We had a problem earlier with that Brandy where he had sent it and it was not in the right format, and I had to download Telegram or whatever. But Retro Gaming Asylum, they stepped it up. They wanted to they wanted to put that out there so that you guys could check them out as well. They online, Facebook, and everything like that. So they got a drone, Brandy, to be able to do that video for us. A drone.
Yeah, when I saw that earlier, I was like, oh, I have to step up my game. I need a drone or something flying around the game room.
Yep, he did that, and that one I didn't even bother to check and see if it had audio, but I wonder if he sent me the one that didn't have audio. Either way, we'll have it for next week. But it was really, really cool. He gave us a shout out. He was like, and you're watching the Game Masters. So if you're out there, if you have a game store and you want to be involved in this, CC Gamers CEO, send us a little video, 20 seconds, just like that, and some of the other ones you'll see throughout the show, and get it to us. But Brandy, what was really cool after last week's show, something phenomenal with the show happened. Do you remember what that was?
Oh, we're all over.
We are all over.
Yeah, audio. We are you can listen. So if you're not a video person, she said thanks, Nick. Now we need a drone.
Yep.
We do.
I have a drone. I have one. That's what we'll do when we're in person. We'll shoot a drone, then you'll look really small when we do. Anyways. So why don't you elaborate a little bit on that? So people are like, what do you mean you're all over the place? What does that mean? People are going to Siege.
Yes. So we have expanded. I don't know all the ins and outs. Is it like Podbean or something like that?
Yeah, Podbean is, but you can go on iTunes.
Yeah, it's all over. Like all the major streaming sites, things like that. You can listen to us for all of those audio listeners out there who don't, want to watch YouTube or the videos or anything like that. You can certainly listen to us. So we have that going on, and we are working on tons of other stuff too, with trying to stream out a little bit more places, different socials, different things like that. And make sure you guys do check out all of our links for the Game Masters. We have the Game Masters podcast. We have all these different pages. We have YouTube, all of that. Just because right now everything is so, we only have like a few followers on some of those social medias. We are not able to live stream or do certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys just go ahead and hit that subscribe, it'll really help us with that.
Yeah, and as you can see here, this is on the Podbean website, but we're on Spotify, we're on Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, we are on Player FM, Podchasers, Boomplay, Pandora. I think Pandora was bought out, but either way, we're all on the heavy hitting sites, and you'll know which episodes. We only got 2 episodes up right now, but you can still. If you have an Android device, I think it's in Google Play Music. If not, just listen to it on Podbeam, and you'll be fine. The cool thing, Brandy, is we're able to get it up and on those platforms almost immediately right after the show. So people
that's perfect.
Yeah, so people can, if they're headed to work tomorrow, if they're doing something, they can tune in. It's pretty cool.
Very cool. Let everyone know.
Yeah, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your frenemies, tell whatever. The Rushmore Show says, we are excited to have you both. Will you guys be at Siege? I will not, but she will be.
I will be at Siege. I think a little bit, we're going to talk a little bit more about Siege as well. Just as like a little, heads up.
Brooklyn says, I had a drone for my channel and wound up crashing it during a video.
That would be my luck. And then it would probably like set everything on fire.
So Stephanie wants to know, what about live broadcast eventually like radio? Yeah, so I have a couple friends, believe it or not, that do web radio. And they actually had come out to me before and said, when I was doing my broadcast shows and everything like that, and they said, hey, why don't you do your live tech show or broadcast show and do it on the web radio? And I know it's not like terrestrial radio, but, there's people out there that just listen to web radio, like iHeart Radio, like they listen to that.
Yeah.
So I think I might hit them up again and say, hey, if you want us to come on, we can do that. So I don't know. What do you think about that? Doing essentially what we're doing now. It's not anything we have to really do extra. I have to do it on my end here to submit it, like send it out, but live on the radio.
I mean, that would be fun. Definitely. I am learning so much technical stuff when it comes to all of this. And I'm super thankful. So I appreciate everyone being, very patient with some things. Definitely, stepping some things up over here. So I think that'd be fun. Always something interesting.
Yes. We are. And later on, you might actually get to see in the show. Jason just hit me up with the actual video that has the audio on it. So we'll get that up later on in the program. So it'll be a lot of fun. And let's see, Rushmore Show said, we'd love to do that. Well, definitely, man. I'll keep you posted if you want to do that as well. Because they're always looking for shows. So I can always put you in contact with them. It's a lot of fun. It's not hard to set up. And it's something, if you don't know how to do it, I could help you do it. But I think it'd be a lot of fun. Just, again, it opens you up to a different audience. Some people just like to listen. They don't like to necessarily look at what we're doing here. And the main thing I think, though, Brandy, over the next couple of weeks is, especially with you going to Siege, is to get the chat working where I can grab your chat and pull it in because of the system that I use. So your viewers on your channel, we're not leaving you out, you guys. I have no way of doing it without her giving me her password to her YouTube, which she's like, I have no problem doing that. We don't want to do that because we don't want to run the risk of getting hacked. We all know what happened to Retro Rick, right? All it does is take once. We don't want to do that. So we're trying to find some workarounds. We don't need Brandy getting hacked. That would be bad.
It's me. I'm the problem, it's me. Um, so we will figure that out. Always working towards something and not leaving you out. I just got $4.99 from Mr. Gretzky. He had a question for both of us on my chat. So I just wanted to shout him out.
Yeah,
He said,
definitely.
how do you both hook up retro consoles to modern TVs with a switcher or a different way?
Well, go ahead. You start that one off. Go ahead.
So that's like the perfect segue into, what we're talking about with our game rooms. We're giving tips, we're giving tricks, different things to avoid, things like that. So what I end up doing is they make a lot of different. Now I don't know all the ins and outs. You're the tech guy, but they do make a lot of different adapters and different things that I've had to use for the newer TVs. But that's why I personally like a lot of the CRTs, just because it has those like retro hookups and it's a little bit easier and kind of like dummy proof for someone like me who can just hook up to that. But I have, with the help of um, you and other people, just like Marlbs is saying, there is a RetroTink 5X that you could get. I do have is it a Frame Meister? Now I haven't really dove into that too much, but they do make some are more expensive ways to hook them up to like modern, televisions. But Marbs is saying that's a high performance scaler. I've just bought some of like the cheaper ones that you could get on like Amazon or just different sites, for that. But I'm not 100% sure on all the ins and outs. I just know that there are cheaper options that you could do. They're not always the best. Sometimes you do want to spend the money where it counts. And you kind of want to upgrade as time goes on, depending on, how good you want the stuff to appear.
Yeah. I have um, I have some stuff that I use, but everybody's gonna hate on me here because most of my consoles, and I could show this in a video in a future episode, but I have mine set up to all converted to HDMI.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I did that, and I know it messes up, like it's not the true way to do it.
Yeah.
Because of everything was played better on CRTs and such.
Mm-hmm.
I do it to HDMI because I have a switcher behind my TV because of how all the systems are ready to go at any given time. You don't see any wires. You'll see that in my game room tour that Brandy twisted my arm to start working on for hopefully next week.
Yes.
But you'll see that all the systems are set up so when people come over, especially kids, they literally can press us. I have 3 different levels of blocks. So I have A, B, C, and then the top is D. So I have 4 different switching ports, Brandy, that have A, B, C, D.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do is with that, if I want A, it's usually the top line, and then it'll automatically switch to whatever system that is turned on.
Yes.
And then I B, which would be the next layer, and that's why I did it, especially for game nights, so I don't have to police it all the time and be in there. But I do have a CRT TV with 4 of my favorite systems that are hooked up
Okay.
via a similar scenario, but the TV has it all with RCA. The Jaguar hooked up, the TurboGrafx, the Nintendo, and the a Sega Master System, because those are like 4 of my favorite retro consoles. So
Mm-hmm.
of course I'm going to play them on a CRT. So that's kind of how I have it set up. But what do you think of that? While I pull up some things here.
Yeah, I mean, some people in the comments, Marbs is saying they don't look good without a scaler, and I mean, I
He's
completely
not
agree
wrong.
with.
Yeah, he's not
Yeah, I
wrong.
completely agree with that. I also use something similar to yours. Yours is like ABCD. I think I had like 1 through 8,
Mm-hmm.
but is it composite
Uh, uh,
component?
component is the
Red,
red,
yellow.
green, blue, yellow,
Okay, that's
white.
that's that one. So I've had a couple different ones like that. And it's whatever power's on, and you can easily play it, and it's like dummy proof on how to do that. But if you are going to want something that's upgraded, that's scaled properly, that's not completely stretched, that looks more true to what you want, Marbs is saying in the chat, Tink 5X is the best cheap solution to connect to HDMI if you want the best that it is Retro Tink 4K, but you are in deep at that point. So I'm imagining that that's more expensive. But that's something that we could definitely look into a little bit more. And I'm all for, if it's something easy that I could set up, I'll go for it. I'm always about that. He said he spent about a month ago wiring all that up to use the HDMI. So I mean, people use that. I've heard amazing things about that. I know with the Frame Meister, you do have to buy like those different cables, and you do have to like use it on certain TVs. It's not really like the modern stuff, but I know people like that, like true to whatever they're doing with that.
So
yeah, there's plenty of options out there, so we could definitely talk about that. And then this is what other people do.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. One of our guys that we're going to send in, he sent in this picture. And I know what does this mean? What's this picture? One of the viewers here, Jeff P. We're not going to give out his last name because we don't want you guys going after him, and not saying that you would, but I try to respect people's privacy a little bit. Yes. So he said, "Hey, Steve and Brandy, I've included my game room photo, but I really wanted to show off my favorite feature. I added a set of connection plates to the bottom of the unit. I just take a console off the shelf, drop it on the coffee table, and plug in the power and cables into the front of the unit, and we're off. No maze of switch boxes, no nest of cables behind the TV, and no need to reach behind the unit to fidget with connectors." Now, this is genius. Like when I first saw it, I didn't realize what it did, and then you were like, "Oh, that's really cool." And then I reread the email. Helps if you read the emails, But this is his setup. He's got a monstrous setup. So I mean, Brandy, for the way he has it done, I think is pretty ingenious.
I think so too, because that's definitely I feel like it's like ready to go. I know with mine, like having all like the consoles and stuff, not all of mine are ready to go at any time. And I definitely envy, people who can modify something like that and who can, get it all set up together, just ready for that convenience.
Yeah, in fact, I might do a separate video just showing how mine is done.
Yeah.
Just so if people want to do it, that doesn't mean they necessarily have to do it. It's just as an idea, because that's a great question that came up, and a lot of people in the chat room are giving a lot of great advice. My thing is, I don't know, the whole CRT, they use a lot of energy and they use a lot of power, and I think a lot of people don't want to use them for that reason, even though it's the truest form to play these retro consoles. I think that's a deterring factor for a lot of people, more so than anything. How many CRTs do you have in your game room?
Not enough. No, I'm kidding. Like almost every kiosk has one. Like the two Dreamcast kiosks, they both have a CRT. I have a prison CRT. I have like some space age that CRT. It's worth like $400 and some. So if anyone wants to buy that, let me know. It's been like on the ground for like years, and that's something I should probably let go of.
Did you say a prison? Wait a second. This just clicked in my brain. Did you say a prison CRT?
Yeah.
Like it's from prison?
Yes. It did its time and it's out. No. So when they're in prison, they have to have clear electronics, so that they don't make certain tools and things like that. So that they can see if they're tampered with. And typically they'll have different, not just a regular screw, they'll have like something else so that it's harder to get into.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they'll take out like the speakers, or they'll disconnect them so that they have to use headphones. Well, now they have flat screen clear TVs in prison, but they used to have bigger TVs. And this one has an inmate number carved into it. And I looked up the inmate number because it's from Pennsylvania, and he did a bank robbery. He wasn't good at it because he got caught.
God, yeah.
And I have his TV, so I made a video on it. And then someone said, when he gets out, you should invite him over to your house that has hundreds of expensive items in it.
You're gonna get right on that, right?
Not that he would rob anything, and you should interview him about his TV. And I was like, that seems like a great idea.
She's gonna get right on that.
Yeah.
That I
I'll
just
help him carry everything out to his
right,
car.
exactly. I just heard that out of the corner of my. I'm like, what? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move into really quick because we want to get into these game rooms, but let's show you like one of our segments here is the pickups of the week. I know you didn't really have a lot. I don't have a lot. It's not going to be a long segment, but we do have some pickups of the week. All right. So let me switch over to my pickups camera. I guess that's what we're going to call it now, right? And some of you guys, if you're following me on some of the other social platforms, you might have seen this already, but I figured it's worth, because I don't think Brandy has it yet. So it's just another way that I get to kind of be like, I got something that she doesn't have because she has everything else under the sun. But I picked up one of these. I got this for $20. And it's still sealed. And it's the commemorative coin for the Switch 2. It's from Best Buy. Now, they really stepped in it when they made this because everybody's like, why didn't GameStop do this? Why didn't Nintendo do this? I think of all the swag that they had, I think, Brandy, this is probably the best, one of the best pieces of swag for the Nintendo Switch 2. And I'm sorry if I'm blinding people. I'm just trying to get it so you guys can see everything. Please don't tell me you already have it.
No, I do not have it. I have all the other like Switch merchandise, Switch 2.
Do you have this?
This is the coolest one.
This is
Maybe I
a
don't have
keychain. Well, wait. So you can get this. Anybody in the chat room, if you want this, you know those silver coins that you get with your Switch that are like add up and you don't do anything with them. If you go to the Nintendo eShop right now, you can get this for 600 of those silver coins or platinum coins, and then you pay like $2.95 shipping and handling, and you can get this. If you are a collector and you want some Switch 2 memorabilia and you weren't able to get it anywhere else, this came. It literally took less than a week, and they sent it to me. Now I want to get another one so I can use it and then just keep this one sealed. But yeah, that was the other thing. So you can check that out. The last thing I got, Brandy, is for my Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a Mamba case. And let me see if I can't pull this camera back.
Looks very cool.
Yeah. And so basically, let me turn this on here. One of the reasons I bought this was because if I can show it on the top, it doesn't, on the Joy-Cons, it doesn't cover the original buttons. So like when you get used to the feel of the buttons, it actually has these edges here. If you can kind of see them, they'll actually snap back like that. So you can take off the Joy-Con.
Wow.
And it pulls it over. But it keeps it from, mucking with your buttons, and it locks it into place. The only gripe I have with it from the Mamba is that it doesn't have an opening in the back for the kickstand. This is strictly just if you want to hold it in handheld mode. They totally missed it because there's nothing to pull the kickstand out. But for $20, I couldn't pass it up. I bought it, and it feels really good in the hand. It has some thickness to it rather than just the Joy-Cons. Like it feels like a Pro controller.
Okay, that's cool.
So it feels really good in the hands, and then on the back side you can kind of see it's concave. Like so, when your hands are on it, it feels like you're holding something that's not going to slip out of your hand like a tablet would.
More sturdy.
Yeah. So this was something I picked up, and I'll show you guys. I'll pull up the website for it, but I figured for the price, all the rest of them, the only coverage for the buttons are this, the power on button at the top and the volume rockers. That's it. But nobody cares about that because you're not using it to play the game. I just don't want my normal buttons covered up.
Yeah.
So I thought that was, a good deal for that. I'm going to see if I can pull up on the website. If, again, I'm not sponsored by these guys, so please don't think that I'm trying to shill it out here. This is just, if you're looking for one, you got all different colors and $20. And I think if you go on there and you put a you put your email address in there, they give you like 10% off, so you'll get it even cheaper.
Yeah, it's
On
not
a-
bad at all.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good deal for what it was. Did you have anything this week that you picked up? Anything at all?
So I just found something.
Okay.
It's sitting next to me. I forgot that I did my game room tour, and I took this out of the box. I don't think I ever posted it. PlayStation had a sale on it, and it was the collector's edition statue.
Oh, that's nice. I'd like to get that. That's really nice.
Because I have the first collector's edition statue, and then I didn't have this one, and then I regretted it. But I didn't want to pay like a couple $100s, and then this went on sale. So this is just a really cool. You have Spider-Man. It's just like the detail on here is like pretty awesome. So I did actually get that, and
Nice.
I almost forgot about it. And then this shirt I was wearing. This is also a pickup. Everyone knows me and my t-shirts. I try to wear different ones in different videos. This is actually an official Nintendo t-shirt from like 2004, so like the GameCube era. And one of my other ones, it's like something, admit you have a problem, Nintendo something, whatever it is. But I wear it in my game room tours, and I wanted another red shirt. And then I saw this one, and I got it pretty cheap. And sometimes these promo shirts, they go for a lot. But I thought it was cool because it says, how to score a princess. And it has Mario, and it says bling bling. And then it says cool ride. And then it says power up. So you could kind of get like a better view of it in the game room tour video. But I thought it was cool because it's like official Nintendo, like a promo shirt from like around that time frame.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
it's not like, someone printed it. It's actually, and it's the same material too, tag and everything as that other shirt that I have that now goes for like hundreds of dollars. So this one was super cheap on eBay, and I scooped it up because some of these shirts, like it's crazy when some of that like promo stuff goes on sale. It's like hundreds of dollars. So I
Yeah.
saw this, I scooped it up. It looked brand new, and I wore it fresh first time for here and for the game room tour. So I was pretty excited about that pickup.
Which she put the game room tour video out today. So after the show's over, go watch it. It's a really, really good. I watched it earlier today. I didn't get a chance to comment because I had to go out and do some stuff, but I did watch it in its entirety because I figured she was going to reference it, and
Yes.
I would have been like, I didn't see it yet. So I did my homework. I watched it.
Well, I'm glad. I try to keep it on like the shorter end, and if people want to see more specifics or close-ups, I will definitely shout that out. But I felt like today was a perfect day.
Yep.
Because we are talking about the ultimate game rooms, offering tips, advice. You guys are offering tips and advice, and I'm learning from you guys. So I'm definitely excited for it.
I want to go back to this question that popped up here on Facebook from Dustin Bragg. He said, I have a Switch. Is the Switch 2 worth buying?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously we're collectors. Obviously we whether I like the word or not, I'm just going to use the word. We're influencers in the space. And so I feel like we're not doing our audience it's justice, right? Unless we pick something up like that. So I pre-ordered it. My kids, we mainly did it because of Mario Kart. We're big Mario Kart fans, but I also like the game chat version. So my advice to you is, if you're not really caring for Mario Kart, because they really haven't, or Donkey Kong Bonanza, because those are the two big heavy hitters right now. Every other game just about is a remake. And I know there's some other ones that are not remakes that are in the store. But if you're concerned about the $450 or $500 price range, I would say just hold on to the Switch One for a little while yet, because they may do a Zelda version of it, and you might want a Zelda Switch 2, or there's been talk that Microsoft is going to bring Halo to the Switch, and maybe they'll do a Halo version of it. That would be my suggestion to you. I don't know if I'd be in a hurry to run out and buy it. Brandy, do you have any other advice?
Yeah, I mean, people are kind of mixed in the chat. Ghetto Finger Gaming said, yes, it is. The bigger screen alone is worth it to me. Eric saying it's not worth it now. You'd have to buy on future promise. Crime Fighter says, currently I would say no due to the bricking scandals. Skake and Bacon Media said, for the Switch 2, happy they made it. When I get a chance, I'll buy it. I mean, I definitely want one, but I have not felt the urgency to go out there and get one. So I feel like eventually I will, but I'll want some sort of bundle, and maybe when like Donkey Kong does, like I feel like, that'll probably be the game that I'm excited for. Of course, like Mario Kart. It's just
I mean, I like mine. Don't get me wrong. But do I think it's a need? It's not like, and people might argue the PS4 to the PS5, right, was that was not a need. Some people compare it from the PS5 to the PS5 Pro, the Switch to the Switch 2. I'll say this. It's this is my view of it. And I'm not telling you to get it or not get it. My view of it, this is the Switch done right. Does that make sense to everybody? The Switch 2 is the Switch done right.
Okay.
And everybody's going to have an opinion on it, and that's fine. And again, I'm not going to tell anybody to go buy it or not buy it. But to me, it's the Switch done right. It's how it should have been from day one. Mm-hmm. And that's all I can say on that. Lindsay says, it's nothing like a new game room tour. Yeah, I shot some B-roll, a lot of it today too, and that's because it's Brandy's fault.
Yeah, I'm glad because we want to see that. We want to see that stuff, and I'm glad that I convinced you to.
And we're even going to do a little. I think it might be a separate video, but we're going to do a separate video of the podcast setup. Everybody, if you're interested in the podcast setup, what we use with what we have here with the elaborate setup, I'll do a separate video on that, showing everybody that type of stuff. But before we get into some of the game rooms, we do have the video. I managed to get the video up from Jason.
Perfect.
So let's watch this the way it was supposed to work.
This is Jason from Retro Gaming Asylum. Welcome to Game Masters.
Yeah, there it is, and it was done very, very well. I can't get enough of that drone footage, man.
The drone is what makes it.
Yeah, man, it's pretty cool. If you're in the Beaver Falls area and you're looking for, listen, Jason's a great guy, and we need to support these small mom and pop shops because they're the future. If you like collecting retro games, these are the places you need to go. Nothing against GameStop, but these are the people that you need to be supporting. So, should we get into some of the game rooms and tips? Do you want to do the Mario Kart from your side, or do you want to kind of wait on that a little bit?
It doesn't matter. It could be whatever.
Well,
we can go in whatever order, and
well, you're one of the hosts, so I just felt it was kind of like fitting that I'm kind of curious about this myself.
Should we do the Mario Kart or the Sega? Which one?
Oh, I think we're gonna do them both. That's no doubt. But
all right, let's start with the Mario Kart.
Want to do the Mario Kart?
Let's just jump on in.
We're gonna do that. All right, here we go.
So finally, this guy right here, this Mario Kart, this crazy kiddie ride that they used to have back in the day, that Nintendo told them that they had to get rid of all of these. They were supposed to dispose of every single one of these kiddie rides, and I found this at the Southeast Game Exchange. I went crazy bidding on this thing a couple years back, so this is just a crazy piece of history here that I'm so thankful to add into the game room. Have it with all of my Nintendo 64 consoles, just a complete dedication right here to my love of everything Nintendo, and especially the Nintendo 64.
Ooh, I'd see, that is really cool. Like, that's not something you see in anybody's game room.
No, so actually interesting. That was a Siege find. I found it at the Southeast Game Exchange. Got into a bidding war with all of the YouTube creators. Some said that they weren't going to bid, but then they ended up bidding it up. So a lot of money later, it wouldn't fit in the car, and then I had to hire some company to ship it to my house. So that was fun. And then it sat in the garage for a couple years. So first tip is make sure you have room for certain items, and don't go crazy and just go ahead and and buy stuff. You got to make sure that you have the room and stuff for it first. So that is a big tip number one.
Stephanie's sitting there going, "Take your own advice. Take your own advice."
She was just as guilty. She helped. She was like, "Let's get it."
She's an enabler.
She was.
That's awesome.
So that was fun, but no, it really was, like everyone's saying, like Barnes Arcade. That was an attention getter at Siege for
100%.
sure. And the worst part is, so when you're a content creator, this is totally off topic, whatever, but we're going for it. This is some heat stuff right here.
Here we go. Bring the heat.
Yeah, we're bringing it. She said kettle black.
The pot calling the kettle black.
Sometimes things happen and you fall into a trap, I will say. What had happened was, so we were at the convention and everyone was like, "Brandy, you need that for your game room. You absolutely need that." And people were coming up to me and they were hyping me up. Like, "You got this. I'm rooting for you. You can do it. Go against the big guy. You got this. We're all pulling for you." So that peer pressure.
I was just going to say the peer pressure was strong.
It sure
with that
came
one.
into play. And I'm talking with some content creators who have stores, who have big channels, all this. And next thing you know, they say they're not bidding, then they bid. Then it's on. Then I bid again. Then they secretly bid. Then I bid again. Then they secretly bid. Then I got people hyping me up and they're like, "You got this. You got this." And that's what happened. So I never
let me ask you.
really admitted that, but
let me ask you. We don't need to know what you paid. But I asked you during the video, I was saying, what does something like that, because I mean, it's kind of one of a kind, right? I mean, there's not many of them out. If you had to guess, what do you think something like that is worth?
probably like over 1,000 to like a few thousand. Let's just say that someone was willing to pay at least 2,000.
Okay, that's what I would have guessed.
There I was.
I would have guessed probably like 5,000. I just knowing what the Mario statue goes for that you have in your what I see people selling it for, not what you paid, but
I paid less than that. So
I know. I'm just saying, like, I think, dang man, that's it. When I saw her video with it, I was floored because she told me once before that she had it and it was in the garage. But I was sitting there and I'm like, when I saw it, I was like, oh, I didn't actually think it was like the actual cast, like an actual ride at an amusement park. Like I was thinking it was like one of them, you buy it for your toddler and you push them around in your living room with it. This is like amusement park furniture.
Yeah, it's like those coin operated kiddie rides. Like they're outside of grocery stores. They're outside of things. They could be at theme parks. They could be in the malls. They could be like anywhere, but they're not officially Nintendo licensed. So the company, whoever made these fake things, I mean, Mario looked a little odd, but that's what made him special. It's the history. It's you've never seen this before, and I've only seen one other one come up for sale, and it's totally across the way. And like trying to pay for that, I would have spent even more on shipping for that. And so, I'm glad that I got this one.
Yours is in good shape too. I mean, it's not really paint chipping or anything on it. So
yeah, it's very interesting, and I'm just so happy that I got it in the game room. So for this game room tour, let me tell you, I worked super hard. If you saw last week our episode of talking about water in the game room and destruction and all that, I worked my butt off trying to get this together, and I'm super happy how it all came out, and I changed tons of things up. And we had to take the door off the hinges and get him in the game room. So fun. She loved that. That was so much fun. It was a nightmare. I'm just gonna put that out there. It was a nightmare.
When I see you bring kiosks home, or like that time you got that second kiosk, I'm like, and you're saying, oh, I fit it in my car, and I was like, okay, so obviously Stephanie had to go along with you, and your car's not like, it's not a truck. So I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay, how did you fit this in the car with two people?
No, one person. She drove separate.
Oh, she drove separate.
For certain things,
okay,
I put her out the car.
You put her out of the car. That's hilarious. Because that's, I mean, if you saw her car, you would wonder the same, like, how are you? Because obviously you need help carrying it and stuff. So that thing was rather large to take. All right. We why don't you preface the next one? He's been a longtime fan of yours. I met him at Pittsburgh, and then I met him again at Torg, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he is a big Xbox. Would you say an aficionado, or would you just say he's just a super fan?
I mean, I think he has more credit to him, than just like a super fan. Like, he is an expert. That is his passion. He also has like a retro channel and stuff too, and he's doing some gameplays and some other things. That is the man here, Marb's man. He sent me some footage, and I actually thought it was pretty funny because it's something a little different than what he does. So he should definitely hone into, that side of him. But he actually offered some really great tips here.
Hi, Marbs here. You're probably wondering why I'm on the floor in front of my games. Because I want to talk to you about the most important thing to think about, in my mind, when I build a game room that's in a basement. And that is elevation. Yes, that's right. Getting your games up off the floor, and as a bonus, I will use metal shelves so I could quickly remove the games off the bottom shelf if I would get into a water situation. But my 2 inches of elevation off the floor should be more than enough for me to salvage anything that I need to in an emergency. But let me get into that for just a second. An accurate inventory of your games is probably one of the most important things you can do. Take it from me, when I was younger, I lost a bunch of games due to a sewage backup flood in my basement. These are the hazards of having a basement game room, and it's something you need to prepare for. My name's Marbs. I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.
Brandy, that was awesome. He really came out of his shell there. It's not like his usual content, like you said.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I thought it was great. When I saw it, I was like, wow, that really hits home with, like water coming into a basement.
Yep.
It's very helpful, very great tips. You know, it was nice and refreshing that, some people actually have methods, to fix that stuff. So I think that's really helpful for anyone who's either just starting out or who wants to prevent that stuff.
And,
so I thought that was really great.
And during the video, you had gotten a super chat, so we would definitely want to hit that.
Yes. Thank you so much. We have Ghetto Finger Gaming. Fun show. Always a good adventure. Thank you for $10. Really appreciate that. Appreciate the support. Fantastic person. Make sure you guys check out. And just always hyping up, talking about the Switch 2 stuff, hyping it up, and, just all these comments. Really do appreciate it, everyone. Super nice of you guys. Not expected. You guys are awesome. I love this chat tonight. Everyone is really on top of this with like the game room talk and just being super supportive. And, you guys are great. Wouldn't be here without you guys in the community. And I just love it.
I just want to throw this out there to everybody that's super chatting. Brandy, you must be picking up the vibes that I'm picking up as well. I think they're going to need some kind of counseling here, because Stephanie just kind of was saying, I'm booted to the back most of the time. I think she's feeling a little unappreciated here in the chat room. I do. I think that's you might need some game room counseling, I think, with that. No, I'm just kidding, folks. I'm just kidding. She's having a great time in the chat room. But
no, it's all fun and love here.
We're just playing.
We love to joke around, just like another guy in the chat here. Square Pegs, fantastic show, great people hosting. Saying Steph is the best. You got the support there, from Square Pegs. We appreciate that. And Rushmore Show is subscribing to Ghetto Finger Gaming, so that's fantastic. That's what we all want. Everyone coming together, showing that support, throwing a little bit here and there at each other, and we're ready for it.
Yes, big thank you also for Grand Designs 82 for following over on Twitch. As you guys know, we're streaming on every platform. We must be on 15 or 20 different platforms. Instagram, Brandy's Facebook channel, my channel. It's all over the place. So if we don't see every chat, don't hate us. Leave us a comment below so we can always get it after the show. We'll listen to it. We'll check it out. Lindsay says we 3D printed feet for our shelves in the basement. That's a great tip as well if you have a 3D printer. Yeah.
That's resourceful. See, I'm learning things.
Well, that'll be the next thing, Stephanie. She's going to be wanting a 3D printer, so you might as well start saving for it now.
I just don't know. I'm doing the perler bead art now for Siege. You know, trying to work on that. I think she's currently making some Pac-Man.
Nice. All right, coming up now, we have Mike H, who reached out to me, and he wanted to show off his game room, and we're going to check it out. I really like his layout. He's also a wrestling fan as well, so let's take a look at Mike H's game room.
All right, so welcome to the game room. Normally the cube lights are color coordinated based on stuff like the Undertaker cube is purple and the Xbox one is green, and the PS ones are blue and the Switch one red, but I just charged them all so they're all reset to white. But let me turn the lights on and we'll take a little tour through the room. So we have these Darby Allin and Sting portraits. I think they're both of 300. We have a OG DX flag from when I was a kid. Some signed Darby Allin toys. Let me see if this will focus. This old Intercontinental title from when I was little. We have some pops. And then we have, I like to juggle and hacky sack. We have some figures, some AW stuff, some WWE stuff. I used to be a big Overwatch player, so got a little Overwatch cube here. I love Monk, and then my dad actually just brought this over. Pretty cool little toy. Haven't found a spot for it yet though. I love Saw too, so got that. Little empty cube there, still figuring out what to put in there. We have the PS Portal, the PlayStation, the 30th anniversary PlayStation. Switch, Xbox 360. That's my OG one with all my Rock Band and Guitar Hero stuff downloaded on it. Some Demon Slayer Funkos, some Bioshock stuff. The Xbox, sweet SummerSlam chair from going to SummerSlam. Some guy gave it to my kid on the way out. We also have some Demon Slayer pops up here. And then have the Trinitron. Everything's hooked up to component except for the 64. Got a nice Grape 64. GameCube with the MemCard Pro. We have the PS2 Slim with the MemCard Pro 2. And then also the 8-bit do adapters, so you can use PS4 controllers on the PS2 or PS1 or whatever. Little empty cube that I haven't figured out what to do with yet. Some accessories down there. OG Xbox Sega with the wireless Sega controllers. Little Sega area. We have the Xbox, the Guitar Hero and Rock Band games, and then 2 random Time Crisis games, because I actually got Time Crisis in a random lot that I purchased and was a big fan of the game, so I went and got these 2 as well. Random Pokemon gold stuff from when I was a kid. This is a little junk area, but we have Roller Coaster Tycoon hiding it. Big Mega Man Legends fan, and Mega Man overall, but Legends was my favorite series. The Xbox 360 and Xbox One section, and I got this in a lot a few months ago, and my daughter was playing it. And then this Halo 2, there was just no room down here in the Halo section. And up here we have my OG GameCube and Halo Reach boxes, and then my OG Sega box as well. 3rd anniversary DualShock, or DualSense, sorry, not DualShock. The Wavebirds, Astrobot stuff, Decap Attack, I think my favorite game on Sega maybe. We have Donkey Kong Country, it's my wife's favorite game. This is Gengar that I got from GameStop with some trade credit. We have a graded game, which I don't grade games, but I sent that one in, and I got 7.5 because there's like a little crack. You can barely see it, but there's a crack underneath the seal. Master Chief Controller Buddy. We have the Nintendo 64 collection. This is all I really probably care about box-wise. Banjo-Kazooie, one of my favorite games. Banjo-Tooie as well. Star Fox 2, I grew up on all those. Conquerors, I got this for a crazy deal from some guy who found it in a, he found a bunch of box games, and he sold me just the box for a really good price. And this is the Ukulele Backers Edition, which you had to pay like $575 for to get this plus other stuff. And then I found it right when I got into collecting again, like in 2021, I found it for 35 bucks. We have the finished Lego Horizon tall neck. Lego Horizon, more Lego Horizon. We got Aloy back there. Horizon got me back into gaming in 2016. I think it was 2016. So we have a little dedicated Horizon section. Down here, all the PS5 stuff, which I've been playing PS5 the most lately, and my collection's definitely grown over the past like year or year and a half. Toomba's getting slowly pushed out of there. We have my most expensive video game purchase, which is Tronbon. I used to rent that from Eagle Video all the time, and Mega Man Legends 1 and Mega Man Legends 2 are my favorite, I think my 1 and 2 favorite games. And then the only greatest hits that I have left is WCW versus the World. And then we have my PS4 collection. It got moved down here because it was PS4 and PS5 together, and then PS5 started taking over. I haven't really shown a lot of love lately. And we have a little, we have my old Monk DVDs down here. That I replaced with the other one. I didn't know what to do with these yet. Gotta figure out what to do with that cube. Random strategy guides. We have the Rock Band drum set. We have 2 Rock Band Explorers, the best, or Guitar Hero Explorers, the best guitar that they made. And then we have a Mario DDR mat and a subwoofer. We got some stuffies right here. And some Castlevania, Netflix Castlevania pops. If you haven't watched that, go watch it. It's a good anime on Netflix. My son seemed to move my magnets all around, so they're all out of order. But normally there's the Belmont versus Dracula scene with the fire coming out of his cape that I have set up. But yeah, he moved it all around. And I'm gonna take you guys back over here. I don't think I went over, here's all the Switch stuff. Most of it, except for like a few games that my kids just keep upstairs. We have the Nintendo 64 section. This is a night light actually. I don't know if it will, it might be charged. Yeah, there you go. And then we have the GameCube section. This is all I'll ever play. I don't collect just to collect. I usually collect just games that I'll play, or that the kids will play too. And then we have a few Wii games, which I actually tried Mario Sports Mix, and it wasn't the best. Wasn't the best game. There's a random amiibo back there. I actually never played Wind Waker, but I love the art style, and I'd like to play it one day eventually. And lastly, I just got this. We have the rug, and then I just got this table when Big Lots was closing, and I decided to turn it into a sticker table. So I let my kids put I put some Pokemon stickers on there. My daughter put some Hello Kitty and stuff on there, and then a bunch of other programming stuff.
All right, that was we're going to get into the dialogue on that, but while we were on the video,
Yes.
people are just handing Brandy money here. So for her and Stephanie to go to counseling.
Hype train. We got Ghetto Finger Gaming again with another $10. Says tips train. Let's go.
Nice.
And definitely, he also commented, I so would have submitted my game room. I missed the bus next time. Definitely send us something. We'll go ahead and put it in. we want to have this like reoccurring with like the community. We're always trying to offer tips, tricks, advice, different things like that. Fantastic, from what I follow already. So I'm excited to see what you have, to go ahead and send it on over. And man, this video, can I just say I'm in awe with the game room, and I saw a lot of things that I already have on a list that I want.
Well, I think a lot of people were commenting on how clean it was inside there, but he talked about how he had it in it wasn't in colors today, it was clean, but I think he should just leave it alone. I don't think you need the colors in the cubes. I thought it looked good. I think we both agreed if we had the wall space the way he did the Guitar Heroes and hung the guitars on the wall like a lot of musicians do with their guitars, I thought that was really cool. What else stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, really just like everything. Like, I liked how clean and organized, and I like how people, they take certain things like Banjo-Kazooie, like just seeing like the little like shrines and seeing the games laid out together and then stacked different rows, and then the box protectors, just little things like that that make a big difference on presentation. It takes it from just owning games to showing the passion behind the collection. And that's what a lot of people were saying in the chat. Some people are like, my game room doesn't stand up or anything, but it's like everyone's is unique in their own way. And it doesn't matter how much stuff you have or whatever. It's,
You're probably saying, why am I looking at a water heater? Well, we're talking about game rooms and our...
Hi guys, Mr. Mario 1989 here. I love your question of how do you store your collection, what are some great tips? It's something that people ask me a lot, with me having over
We want to make this like a community. So please send that stuff in, get that going. And see if you have a game room. Yeah, I brought the audio back. It accidentally hit one of the videos because we were going to go into it. So it's back on there. I know my phone was blowing up. Everybody was like, there's no audio. You're dying here. So if you have some tips, if you have a game room, I'm going to reiterate what I said, and you have something like Lindsay did, you 3D printed feet for your game room, send it in to us. Let us know about it, and we can showcase it here. Because Brandy's going to actually end up going broke just by doing this podcast. Forget shopping. Forget going to other stores. You're going to go broke with what people say here, right?
probably because everyone is a bad influence. I am.
She doesn't do peer pressure very well.
Yeah. Hype me up at Siege and we'll see what happens. I mean,
everybody's.
You can sell me anything. I may not have the money, but I will find a way.
There you go. There you go. All right. So let's move on. We have another gentleman who submitted his game room. This was one of your guys. I guess maybe you know him. He sent it to you, Mr. Mario 1985, right?
Yes, from Instagram. Yes.
From Instagram. So guys, let's take a look at his game room. He's a big Mario collector. If you didn't figure that out.
Hi guys, Mr. Mario 1989 here. I love your question of how do you store your collection, what are some great tips? It's something that people ask me a lot. With me having over 10,000 pieces of Mario, it's definitely a challenge. If it was up to me, I'd be able to store and display every single piece so everyone could see them. Unfortunately, I have to be very selective with what I do, so a few great tips are to maximize every single inch of space you have. As you can see, I utilize the ceiling. I've purchased magnetic hooks, so that way I can also display things through my metal shelving. Another great tip, which I know not everyone can take advantage of, but have more than one room. So and have them set up in some form of organization. Please ignore the mess in the floor, but I've got things hanging from the ceilings. But I have this room set up for the Mario movie, the theme parks, all 3 of them, and Mario Lego, plus the Nintendo Museum on that side, and all the Nabisco products. So having kind of a plan in place before you start collecting or you break it up into themes is also a great best practice.
All right. So he had a ton of Mario stuff in his game room. Brandy, I didn't see 1 inch of free space anywhere.
I mean, I was just shocked when I saw it come through my phone. I was like, man, that is a lot of Mario stuff. But there were like statues and figures, everything that I wanted. So I was like, that is very, very cool. Definitely like the crazy magnitude. And of course, the following and stuff on Instagram. I mean, you just get to see so much more. So make sure you guys are following along on like the socials, if you want to change up your feed, different things like that. I feel like, just like Omar saying, continue sharing game rooms, getting some great ideas for mine. I mean, all of everyone is pretty much saying that stuff. Chase is saying he's an enabler. I offered you money today to sell, marbs. Like everyone is just saying like all this stuff. The plushie ceiling is so cool. LL Cool Games is saying that. That's an official Nintendo piece, not a GameStop one, like the posters. Those are, different things. So, like, people are just literally, all in awe over this. That Mario Museum, people are calling it that.
My wife wrote, she was like, holy moly. She sent me a text message. She goes, holy moly. She goes, Mario, Luigi, and actually, let me read it exactly the way she wrote it, because she'll be like, no, I didn't say that. That's not how I said it. She goes, holy Mario Luigi. Wow. That's what she texted me. And she's not kidding. All right. So we've been showing some game rooms. We still got more game rooms to come. This is not the end. So I did some tips because my game room's in the basement. And I'm still working on my tour because I haven't done one since 2023. So 2 years. So let's take a look at some of my tips that I have here for you guys right after this.
Hi, this is William Jackson from Millennium Flashbacks. You're watching the Game Masters on YouTube.
You're probably saying, why am I looking at a water heater? Well, we're talking about game rooms and our game room collection, and it's great to look at our game rooms and see all the awesomeness, but how do you protect it? I use this little device from Simple Sense right here, and I have it right underneath of the valve. That's a pressure valve, so if water had to be released, it would come out of there. Sometimes you get condensation, so it'll just have a little bit of water below it, but this little device will let you know if you have a leak. So if I'm traveling, what will happen is there's a battery in it, and you can hear it's making noises. Maybe you can't because of our dehumidifier, but that little metal band will trigger, and you can hear it'll make that noise because I'm purposely doing that. It'll make that noise, and then what happens is I get a notification on my phone, okay, and right there it'll say leak detected. Let me see if I can get it so you can see it, and then it'll say leak resolved. So it emails me and it texts me, it sends it to my watch, it sends it to my phone. So if I'm not home or if we're on vacation, I can send somebody over to the house to go check on it. Sometimes there's false positives, but I'd rather have a false positive than have destruction in the game room. Condensation builds up with heat and humidity, so the piping will get a little bit of condensation and drip a drop, and this will notify me, but I move it away from it so I don't get those false positive. Basements leak, and so if the water back there against the wall, if it leaked and it happened to come over, it would notify me and we'd be good to go. I have one here at the hot water heater, and I'll show you where else I have it. A lot of people wonder, you're taking it a little overboard. This is my complex water system. I have a well system, so our water is it doesn't taste good, okay? So this system chlorinates it, dechlorinates it, carbonizes it, pressurizes it. I've got salt in that, brine, and this is my main tank. So protection is key when it comes to the game room. So right now we're under the stairs. You guys see like the lights coming through. That's the stairs coming down to the game room. This is our sump room. You can see here's the pipe that goes up and it takes whatever's in the sump. So there's a little bit of an edge around with the wood here. And so obviously I don't want water getting up that far. So I have another one of those seismic. So in the event the pump fails, it'll hit this and it'll let me know and I can rectify the situation. Because I have a lot of stuff in here. I had a guitar in here. I've got the salt bags for my brine system. So for me, this is a way that I've been protecting my game room using these from water or water damage. All right, so one of the other ways that I protect my game collection, especially when people want to come down and be like, oh my goodness, Super Mario All-Stars, I had this game. I put them in these plastic shells over top of the box to protect it, not only from water damage, I was talking about water damage earlier, but also from grimy little fingers that maybe were upstairs eating pizza before they came down here to handle some of my games. And these games are unplayable. Like, I don't let people play these games. And I know some of you guys are going to be out there, oh, shelf collector. I have multiple versions of this game on a multi-cart that people can play it. But these originals, since they're 100% complete, even with the mail-ins, I don't let people touch them. These are, like you can see, I have NES ones up here. I have more than this, but these are like kind of my favorite / my prize. Really high-end, really good shape games. Super Mario, here's a good one. Super Mario 64, this is rare to find in the box. Usually it was a pack-in, so you just found it loose. So I don't want that to be destroyed. That was my brother's, and he gave it to me, so I want to keep it nice. So that's another way to do it. If you follow me here, in the console room itself, one of the ways that I also do it with individual cartridges, especially since I'm going for the complete North American collection of the NES, is by putting these in plastic cases. Now, there's two ways that you can do this. You can do it with this. Not all my games are in that, but also they're in like a baggie. That's a good way to protect dust and such. So I'm still debating on what I'm going to do. I have a few of them in those plastics, more or less. A lot of them are valuable ones that I have. Like, I have them also in a really, really hard case, like stadium events here. I have this complete in this case here to ensure that it doesn't get damaged, as well as the Nintendo. This was in the kiosk over in the UK. It's very rare. It's a golf game, but it's probably worth a lot of money. So I try to keep that protected as much as possible. You can buy boxes and plastics for boxes and stuff. I haven't gotten that crazy yet, but I do want to get it because I have a lot of console boxes. But that's just one of the ways that you can protect your collection. If your basement is prone to water, I don't suggest doing how I have it, where it's all on the floor. My fortunate space is finished, so I don't get any water in this space. The only water I get is sometimes in the laundry room, but it's right near a drain, so it literally comes in and goes right down the drain, so I don't have to worry about it. But you got to make sure that your game room is protected as possible, and not only protected against water, but if you have pets, I don't let my pets in here unsupervised if at all possible. They like to chew on things, they like to gnaw on things, scratch at things, like with the cat. They've learned since they've been here that they don't come in this room unless we're in here. And sometimes they'll sit on the chair in here. But most of the time, they leave the boxes and stuff alone. They're not scratching at them, because that can damage your collection. We're kind of laughing here because we're going through. Brandy's like, oh, you're just casually flexing the stadium. Guys, I am not a bragger. That's not something that I was trying to do. I was telling her, I was trying to show the different types of plastic that I had. And when my daughter was filming with me, I was like, what games do I have? I don't know. Oh, I have those two in the heavy plastic. And I picked it up without even just realizing what it is. But anyways, I hope you guys like the tips there, because it's kind of nerve-wracking when you're in the basement, and you got water pipes down here, like, it's kind of a little nerve wracking. So
I know that's definitely great, and people in my chat were saying the same thing. Chase was definitely like, sounds like something that I need, and I mean that is something that I need. I'll have to like look into those, and it definitely gives you like a peace of mind too. That way you're not always in like panic or
that's
thinking
right.
like that.
Stephanie
And,
says, "Okay, sponsor." No, they're not sponsoring us. Oh, but we should reach out to them and see if they could be a sponsor because, I bought those things. They're pretty cool.
And I haven't gotten them yet, and
Yeah, that's true.
I can certainly use them for these things. And a PNX World was saying, "Nah, don't feel bad. That's definitely brag worthy," because they were like casually showing 15K. LOL.
No, I get it. I'm that's not. Brandy will tell you, I'm not that type of person. That's not.
No, he's definitely not. Just it is nice to know though, like how people protect stuff like that, because you don't pay like those prices. I don't pay those prices, but it is good to take that into account and kind of know the value of items. Like that's always very important because a lot of things may jump up and climb up, and like you're saying, you have to invest a little bit more into those plastic like little boxes, or even just like sleeves, so that you don't get the dust and the grime and moisture and things like that. It is very important to do that stuff, because this stuff is going up in price. And like some people said earlier, back in like 2011 or the earlier days of collecting, like people couldn't even give this stuff away. They were trashing stuff.
Yeah.
So it's it's definitely worth taking note of. And that's what we're sharing here. Like
that's it.
Things that we've learned, and things that we value.
We're trying to learn.
All this stuff means something to us.
Game Dad threw out there. He says, he had to come over to my chat because Brandy has too many people in her chat. So, thank you, Game Dad. I appreciate it.
That's another short fellow over there.
Yeah, he says you're gonna be at CGC or PGX. I will be at both. Brandy's abandoning me this year, so. But here's something too for those guys. Now, if I'm gonna flex, I'm gonna flex like this. So now you're seeing behind the scenes here, the production area. But what I want to show is this bar. When we bought the house here in the finished basement, this was technically a bar table. Okay. Now, the reason I'm showing this is underneath here. Now I have curtains that cover wires and other pieces of gear that I have that's under here. But there's an actual sink under here, Brandy. So I had literally to prevent any kind of problems flooding over into my arcade over there. If there was any pipes, I actually shut off the water at the local spot so that I didn't run into problems in that area where all of a sudden, hundreds of thousands of dollars of video equipment is shot because of a broken pipe or something.
No, I mean, that's always something that happens too. I mean, certain things with like the weather, you can kind of monitor that.
Right.
But when when a pipe goes up, it goes up. When someone leaves a faucet or something on, like some of my YouTube buddies and stuff have had that stuff happen. I mean,
Game Dad just built his game room. I think it was like a year ago. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure he's probably thinking, man, if something broke, I'm sure he's got some things in place to prevent that,
Yeah.
So
I know that was cool to see, like the whole setup of that.
Yeah.
Just because I want to change up like the flooring and like the style and things like that, but that might have to be like another house one day when I hit the lottery or something. PNX is saying it best over here. PNX World, buy a house. They said it'll be fun. They said.
So talk to us about this video that you have with the Sega. What is this? Is this another sneak peek of your tour?
Yes, it is. And I have a pretty good point about it. So we'll go ahead and check that out.
I decided to showcase Sonic the Hedgehog in this beautiful Sega cabinet that I scored at the Southeast Game Exchange. This right here has a variety and so many of these Sonic the Hedgehog figures, toys, just trinkets, and pinball. Just so much crazy stuff in here. This is the Sega Genesis cabinet, and I am just so excited because the main reason why I had to move this is because I actually won this kiosk over here. This is the Sega Saturn kiosk, and I cannot believe that I actually won this kiosk for free. This is so insane to me. So I had to kind of put everything in this room, make a whole dedicated Sega area with my Sega Dreamcast cabinets, the banners, the standees, the store displays, this Sega Saturn kiosk, this Sonic the Hedgehog sign on top, then even that cabinet. This, by far, is probably one of my favorite areas. I just love how everything pops. Everything is just coming together, and I absolutely love this whole entire kiosk room.
Yes. I know, I'm just like staring. I'm staring at my own stuff and I'm in awe because let me tell you.
She didn't say in the video, but one of those Dreamcast kiosks were supposed to come to me, but she kind of...
We could trade stadium events for that.
Well, I don't want it that bad. Oh. Stephanie's like, not me in that reflection.
I know, she saw that a few times.
It's like,
but no, it is like night and day, let me tell you, from how destroyed the game room was. Even when the chase came out, we went to too many games, and he stopped by the game room. Seeing it from then to now, like within a week, I mean, I'm sure he's probably even shocked to see that too. He's shocked about the bar that you have in your game room. But no, it's just insane. But I do love those cabinets. Now you don't have to get an official one like a Sega cabinet, like a store display, but just anything like a cabinet. Like, I feel like they pop. They have lights in there. It's just the glass is like a protection. Like, I just feel like that really does help, and it keeps little hands off of things. So definitely, I'm shocked night and day from how it was. But I do like when people have like those cabinets. They have like the lights in there. It looks clean. The glass is clean.
Yep.
I think that stuff like really stands out, especially for like, like that's all Sonic stuff or Sega stuff in there. Like, that's what I kind of wanted to do.
Mhm.
Instead of just like games. I wanted to have like those Game Pro magazine figures. Like, those Sonic ones go for like hundreds of dollars. Now, I didn't pay that. I paid like $20 a piece. But it's like, you have to know like the value, and have to put that stuff aside and just like put it up, because you don't want someone like ripping that open by accident. And
well, you and I both were discussing that when I was talking about the plastic on a lot of the games that I have with the cardboard. I never thought to do that until we had the youth game night here, and you got a bunch of teenagers here after. Yeah, Stephanie, they're grimy pizza hands all over my boxes, and I'm like, oh man, that's gonna stain it or do something, or So the plastic, always a good idea. We have another video coming up here, another submission. I hope you guys don't mind. We might go a little over an hour and a half because it is Friday night. And
Friday.
Next week's show will be a little shorter. It'll be only an hour because Brandy has to go to Siege really early in the morning. But we had a lot of submissions, and we love it. Keep those submissions coming. We want to show these game rooms, no matter how small or how large your game room is.
Mm-hmm.
We want to see it. A lot of people want to see it because getting ideas, and we want those tips. They don't even have to be game rooms. You could do a video on a tip and play it. Keep it to 2 minutes, and we'll play it. But check out Dan's right here.
Hey guys, Dan here, also known as Grand Designs 82, YouTube and Twitch. Want to show you guys my game room. Welcome to the Level Up Lounge. Got all my lights on in here all the time. Try to get a real futuristic feel to this room. They're always blinking, changing colors. Got my video board going here. My shadow boxes lining it up. Always want to have a real cool feel to this room. Turning the lights on right now. It's my streaming station. Do all my Twitch streaming here. Got a stream decks, my CRT of the Tetris that I was playing, my monitor, my microphones. Always streaming all the time. Definitely check me out if you guys can. Over here is my side closet where I store all my excess stuff. I have my strategy guides, books, movies, board games, personal things, you name it. It's all put in this station here. Got a couple posters up here as well, and then some big posters on this side along with my fridge on this side here. Try and keep the accent of the room going. Going over on this side here, Probably my proudest thing I have is my entire collection of 677 licensed NTSC NES games. I do have the PAL Stadium events over here, but it's effectively the same game, so it's good enough for me. So looking at all the games here, everything's in alphabetical order for all the games that aren't the big heavies. You'll see starting 10-yard fight going all the way over, then all the way over on this side here going all the way down to Z at the bottom. Then up here, you'll see I have my heavies listed. All the way over, Mighty Final Fight, Snow Brothers, couple others in the middle like Stack Up, Dragon Fighter, Kid Clown, Tournament Fighters, Wacky Races. This side, Chip and Dale, DuckTales 2. Lots of special ones here. But then on the top are my real big heavies. Bonk's Adventure, Power Blade 2, Little Samson, Flintstones Surprise Dinosaur Peak, Panic Restaurant, and the stadium events I was telling you guys about. Over on this side here, I have all my autograph games, and I'm still building this one up too. Like my Mortal Kombat are signed by a whole bunch of people involved with the game. Boone and Tobias, the two founders, signed it. Pacino Brothers signed it, a bunch of other people. I have some other autographs here, like Charles Martinet signing my Mario 64, Bill Farmer signing my Kingdom Hearts, James Arnold Taylor, Tara Strong signing my Final Fantasies, Kevin Eastman signing my Turtles, Ralph Macchio, my Karate Kid. Down here as well, my signatures of when I played in the Classic Tetris World Championships a couple years ago. All the players in my bracket and when I was on the staff helping them out too. Then over here, also got an autographed Power Glove by the inventor of the Power Glove, Christopher Gentili. Then on this side, all my box systems, NES, SNES, Genesis, PlayStation, all the way up to the Switch and Switch 2. And then my games over here, my XS games, running all the way from Super Nintendo up to modern systems like the Switch and the PS5. Then on this side here, another one of my crown jewels in this room, authentic 1988 Tetris cabinet my father-in-law gave me. Always love this thing right here, really gives a good feel to everything. Always building this room up, always trying to do a lot of stuff in here, always trying to keep it spiffy, keep it up with the times, and just keep it retro. Thank you guys for looking at it. Hope to see you guys again soon. Have a great day.
I love that setup, Brandy. What did you think of Dan's setup?
Like everyone else is saying, Dan the man.
Dan
everyone in the chat. No, it was just really cool to see. Like, I just love like the colors that are popping. I like the front facing games, and then I like like the spines and stuff. And then I was like, man, I need more shelves. But
yeah, we were both saying that. We're like, I like the way he did it, and he kind of had it very clean, and he had his most expensive ones at the top, and then like the next tier of expensive ones, and then he had like his commons. I thought that was really cool and very clean. All these rooms that we've been seeing have been very, very clean, and I don't mean like they vacuum and do all that stuff, but they're purposeful. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I mean it's great to see. Like a lot of people are taking pride in their stuff, and that's what we want to see. Just people who are passionate about this stuff, sharing some tips, and kind of getting ideas on how they display things. And it's cool.
Game Dad said his game room has changed a lot since he did a film. Yeah, send it in. Give us, obviously we say 2 minutes, but I mean, if it turns out to be like 5 minutes, people want to see it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This is what it's all about. So, the next one we have, you guys saw him from Retro Gaming Asylum, Jason Bishop. There's two versions of this because I had him shoot it in widescreen just to kind of get a better vibe of the room. But the first one, we're going to show you that, and then we'll show you the second one. So check this out.
Perfect.
one of the things Game Dad actually brought up, Brandy, before we go to the second video that he had, where it's widescreen, is how can people get us their video tours? Like, what can they do? I'll do the technical part, but you tell them what they have to do.
Yeah. No. I was trying to think of something witty to say. It always doesn't work.
You gonna start rapping
Sometimes-
for us like you did last week? No, I'm just kidding.
I know. I was trying to think of something. I couldn't on the spot. No, but for real though, just any social media you can send it. I know there's some emails and things like that you can send it to as well. But just go ahead and follow us on the socials. I think that's probably one of the best ways. We do have the Game Master socials where we make up like little graphics and share that stuff out, like what we're looking for, like these community questions and things like that. And just a couple minutes or less. If it needs to be a little longer, that's fine too. Everyone loves seeing that stuff. We're always learning when it comes to this whole gaming everything, whether it be game rooms or just games in general and stuff. And we want to shout out some people, and whether you're a content creator or not, whether you have the biggest game room or not, I mean, just the community and stuff's where it's all about. And just this love and passion for games, gaming, collecting, all of it. We're not excluding anyone. We don't care if you're a reseller or anything like that. As long as you enjoy some stuff.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just.
Well, I buy.
I was
stuff,
I was gonna say
so I'm
something
okay.
witty like she's a dirty reseller, but I held back. No. Okay. So like she's saying, if you have Dropbox, if you have Google Drive, whatever, you want to upload it to that. If it's too big to email, you can email me or Brandy, Steve at thetechbuzz.net. I think yours is what? Brandy, I forget what it is. What's your email address? Do you remember what it is? She doesn't use it much.
Yeah, I'll have to put.
We'll have it in
something
the description or something.
We'll have to put that there.
But anyway, so you can get it to us, but it's best if you upload it to Dropbox or Google Drive, and then we'll download it. So Game Dad sent us one. We'll have to get it in for next episode next week. But keep the submissions coming because we want to show it. And if you have something special in your collection, like the Rushmore show, I want to pull that comment back up. He was like, he goes, I have a game shelf. It doesn't matter.
That counts too.
Tell us about it. Tell us why that game shelf is special to you. What games are on it? Why do you have those games? Maybe those games bring back a lot of like I've got games that aren't even expensive. They're shovelware, but I will never get rid of them because they bring a lot of memories back from my brother and I and my family. And it's okay to say, hey, come subscribe to my channel. This is my channel, so people might want to check your channel out. That's the whole premise of the Game Masters. We're not saying we are Game Masters. We all want to be Game Masters, and that's what we're trying to do here, is educate the community. So, Brandy,
we can all help each other. That's the main point too. Always learning. You never stop. I learn something new every day. Even related to video games, toys, collecting, convention. I mean, there's so much stuff that we're always learning. We're always trying to make it easier and a little bit more convenient to just play these games. As we get older, we just lose that track of time and things like that, and we just want to keep on moving. And
so my wife just messaged me because she's not in the chat. She's watching, but she's on her phone, and she says, here's a good idea. You guys should set up a vote for the game rooms on each episode. Like, let's say you show 3 or 4 and have the audience vote, and then the winner gets a prize.
We could
do something like that. Maybe it'll be a gift card or something, because I know a lot of you guys are super chatting and stuff like that. Might be something we could do. Maybe because hey, we do get game licenses from time to time from digital copies, so maybe that's something we could do as well. But there's always something we could do as far as a giveaway. So I like that idea. So
I do too. I like that.
Let's keep them coming in. All right, let's take you to Jason's widescreen version of his game room. You can see somebody's actually sitting there playing. We want them to stay especially game because they
stickers.
They want stickers. Well, so I have a sticker here that Brandy doesn't even have anymore. This is one of her reflective stickers. Is this lenticular? No, not really. It's kind of.
It's like not quite holographic. It's like
Yeah,
something, but
cool.
so also if you want stickers and stuff at the conventions,
That's the best place. Yeah.
I give out those, and we are making Game Masters stuff. So the Game Masters will have stickers, we'll have merchandise. We are working on that stuff too. So definitely we'll have to give out some stuff, especially if you see us at conventions and things like that. We'll have to get that all in order. Someone Retro Mad, he wants to win my Mario Kart.
I don't think that's for. Oh yeah, Game Dad says, Brandy, I may know a guy that can make those.
Wow, that's right. I forgot.
He was that the winner gets Steven Switch too? No.
He does. Game Dad, he does fantastic work with things. Like I've been seeing some of the other stuff that he makes, and
we might have to talk to Chris because, especially with Cleveland, because he'll be at Cleveland, he'll be at Pittsburgh. I can actually get shirts. He can just deliver them instead of sending them. So
yeah, we're gonna have to chat. We'll have to chat.
We're gonna have to talk to you, Chris. After all kidding aside, we're gonna have to talk to you.
Because even like the other stuff too that I saw, like some of like the setups of
keychains,
things. Like he's expanding. So
Yeah.
if you guys need anything, definitely check him out. Follow his socials, because he's doing a lot of big things too.
Yeah, if you need merchandise, Chris, you can put Chris, put your link for your business in there so people can go find it and look at some of the stuff that you made if they have a YouTube channel and they want some merch made. In the meantime, we have we actually have an Amiibo collection we're going to show you here from one of our viewers. So check this out real quick.
Hey, this is Michael Rickard from Wildcard Video Games. You are watching Game Masters on YouTube. Enjoy.
Alright, you want to see an Amiibo collection? Here is my out-of-box Amiibo collection, I will say. So here's all of the Japan-released Monster Hunter Stories Amiibo that are gorgeous and fun, and I keep up high so nobody touches them. And then over on the opposing wall, I have all of my open, or the kids can call them my active Amiibo. These are all guys that have been open and used, that are actually, being used as toys are supposed to, right? And then here's Yosh down here. And I have about, I think right now I'm at about 6 cases, 6 18-gallon totes that house all my other wonderful inbox Amiibo, including a new tote that I had to start with all the new Amiibo that just released recently, and hopefully there's going to be spot in there for my upcoming Donkey Kong Bonanza Amiibo, which I'm really excited to see the quality on that guy, but also how big it's going to be. It doesn't look like it's going to be one of these littler sized Amiibo, especially talking about the Street Fighter Amiibo that came out. They're big and very detailed, and it's a really cool, see how close I can get so you guys can see who all is up here. Lots of Smash, lots of Shovel Knight, lots of Splatoon, and the Zelda ones get used very regularly. Monster Hunter ones, other cool collectible video game, tchotchkes, like everybody's got.
She has a lot of Amiibo.
Yes. Everyone loves the shelf over on this end. I think they're really cool too. I think that's like a great way to display them. I'm a crazy person, so I have all of mine sealed and I tack them to like the top of the whole game room. But I do something about them out and loose so that you can easily use them and play with them. I think that's the way to go. Like on that shelf, it feels like it was made for them.
Yeah.
And they fit perfectly.
See,
and everyone loves the Yoshis.
My kid bought a lot of Amiibo. I have them going into the game room in the basement. But I have one sealed, and I've got the new Donkey Kong one coming that I'll keep sealed, but my kid will open his up. But didn't she say in the video that she has like 8 totes that are sealed of amiibo as well? I believe she said that 7 or 8 totes still. So
Jeez.
like, I mean, I don't know how you have a lot of stuff. I don't know how many amiibo you have, but I think probably next to you, she probably has the most amiibo that I've ever seen.
Yeah, definitely. She said the shelf was a nail polish display at a spa place. So for anyone, I have seen people use stuff like that, to like use as like lifters and things like that, and then coin, stands like that you would put collectible coins on. You can like hold up Game Boys and different things like that, and they're way cheaper. So get resourceful and use this stuff. Because that's a great idea. Repurpose the stuff so that you could use it for your game room stuff.
And did you get,
smart.
while we were doing this, we were talking about a contest for the best game room for the week. You had gotten some good ideas while that video was playing. Why don't you share some of them out so people can see if that's a good idea, man? We'll put Chris to work.
Yeah, Pigs, great idea. Said maybe a piece of merch, a Game Masters mug that says Game Room of the Week.
I do like that.
And then we could like take a sip and like cheers to that or something, you know?
Yeah, and the cool part I think is the community will choose. So you'll have a poll on your YouTube channel. I'll have a poll on mine, and then we'll take the numbers and let the community decide based on what they showed. Or like, what if you have a really nice curated? Because I know what some people are going to say. They're going to be like, "Well, I don't have that many games." But you know what? What if you have a nice shelf like the Rushmore show, and you tell a nice story with it? People might vote for yours because yours is more meaningful, right?
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to something like Brandy and I, where we've got 2 rooms full of arcades and games. People might be like willing to vote. So I think keep that in mind when you're sending in your video of your game rooms. Like tell us a story. Like tell us your favorite part and why it's your favorite part, because I know, Brandy, you have a lot of stories with some of the stuff in your game room, how you got started, and I do as well. I don't know. I think I love hearing those stories from people.
Yeah, I mean, and there's like so many. Like I shared one with Chase the other day, and I haven't like ever shared, this like publicly about like my love of like the Sega Saturn and like something crazy that we all did. So stay tuned, because if I pick up a certain game, and then if I figure out what game, I already own it. I just have to find one particular spot in there. It's like, that's like a crazy story that like no one else will have related to like the Sega Saturn. Like I don't think anyone else in the world like played their games this way, like as a kid. And I shared that with Chase when he came out, because it like just popped in my head. It was like it like unlocked. And I feel like that's something cool too. Like we're starting to remember there's like lost memories of like these moments as like a kid and things like that. And someone even suggested that maybe we choose a category for the week for the game rooms, or we do something like that.
And Stephanie said you should put a list of all submissions in the closing remarks so everyone can follow them. So if you do submit it, please include, if you have a channel, if you have a website, if you have an Instagram or whatever. Some of these guys, they didn't supply it, so we don't have that information. And again, Brandy, this is new to us, right? We just started doing this. So if you want to do that for us, and submit that to us, because I think that's ideal. I'm blown away by some of these collections.
No, I mean, I agree. And someone even, so he also said you can call him Gino. Ghetto Finger Gaming said, you call him Gino too. But said, show me your best local game store. I mean, there's just so many different options that we can do. Shout out the community. We all, when we go to different conventions, we like to check out those local game stores. We want to know where you get these games at, which stores really care about the community, help out. They're not always trying to get like the most expensive top dollar and rip people off. They want to, help out as well. Keep this passion alive, keep the gaming going. And, it's not always about how much stuff you have. Like sometimes too much, you get lost in it. Like sometimes it's overwhelming when you come in here and you just like, you pass over some of the stuff because there's just so much. It doesn't matter about like the size of like the game room or anything like that. Like you can learn so much from everything. And
have you have you ever gone into your game room and said, "Oh, I didn't know I had that,"
Yeah.
or gone in and like, "Wow, I really bought 3 of these"? Like,
Yeah,
have
I
you ever
mean,
done that?
that happened. Actually on my series of because I'm going for multiple full sets because I'm crazy, and I actually bought Bubsy, like not even a good game on the Super Nintendo twice, and like
Ah,
I and then I bought Rocketeer twice, and like not even a good game. Like some of these games I just like kept buying because in my head I was like, it looks familiar, but like I don't think I have it, and I even had a physical list. I just didn't highlight it. I don't know.
yeah, sometimes
So
you're
so
at a
it happened.
convention, you pick it up and you forget that. I've done that too.
Yeah.
But I found stuff like that. If you guys have a local game store, somebody else brought this up. Rushmore Show says, I wish I had a local game store. If you have a local game store, go in there and have like shoot around in there, see if they'll let you shoot around in there and put a video. Even if you're not a video guy, maybe you just do it and then have them stand there and say, this is so and so from this so and so store, and you're watching the Game Masters. Give it to us in like a half a minute or a minute thing. We'll throw it up here so people can see. Let us know where the game store is. I mean, I think that would be fun, Brandy, to also see different game stores throughout the country, throughout the world, maybe even. As people can submit stuff like that for us to show on here. Because heck, you travel to different gaming conventions. What if there's a
Mhm.
store that you saw like, oh, I remember seeing this on our show, and you know,
Yep.
we could put that out there. I think that would be really, really cool. And they get free advertising. Meanwhile, you're letting a bunch of people know about it. I don't know. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go too, because sometimes, like, when you're in the actual drive or in that traveling, you try to check around and then you like miss stores because you're trying to do like a quick, search and then GameStop comes up. But then you missed out because there's 3 retro game stores
Right.
and you're like, you know, it's
It-
just crazy. So
It's
it
all
would be
about
nice if they
supporting the
were
mom and
already.
pops.
Yeah. No, it would definitely be nice if they were already highlighted. We had like a log of them. We could like jot them down, plan ahead.
Yeah.
Um, someone said Bubsy, not a good game. Where's that unsubscribe button?
They're gonna start asking for money back. They're not gonna. You keep making comments like, so Brandy, is this another one of those open mouth insert foot like you did in Pittsburgh? Is that what
Go Pittsburgh! This could be. Who would have thought Bubsy would have been the unsubscribe hate?
they're
If you see me, just give me a copy of Bubsy. I will keep that game. I will start collecting Bubsy now. I would be Bubsy's #1 fan. Bubsy 1, Bubsy 2, all the Bubsies, you know?
we're all thinking that we were gonna get an encore rap like we did last week. I'm surprised nobody made a meme out of that. I like if you would have went longer, I would have definitely I would have taken the DK song from Donkey Kong and I would have put it on the video and played it for everyone.
I know. I need to think of some good raps or something. Or like maybe I'll have to like start getting creative and make my own. We'll have to get a
Yeah.
nice beat and stuff
There you
going
go.
and rapping in the game room.
You never
and-
know. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just put on a hat and get a chain, and here we go. It'll say like Nintendo or Sega on it or something, like this big decked out chain, and then I have some of my vintage Nintendo and Sega hats, and
So
You know.
so Game Dad says Jay, Mr. Square Pegs, loves
Mhm.
when people give him Monopoly. Definitely doesn't hate when that happens at all.
yeah, I heard he's a fan.
He's a big fan. So if you guys see him at a convention, anything Monopoly that you can find,
Yeah,
hook him up. Tell him Game Dad told you to do it.
yeah, he will love that.
You'll be his best friend for life if you did that. That and candy corn. Yeah, he's a huge fan. Huge fan. There it is. All right. Well, I think we actually, he says, oh, please do tell. All right. Well, I think we've kind of gotten to the end of our course here. So before we wrap up, you just put out your video for your game room tour. You're going to Siege. Why don't you tell a little bit about that too?
Yes, big things. So leading into next week, go ahead and send us some stuff. Reach out to us on the socials. We'll go ahead and get, some specific links. Ask questions if you have them. We'll direct you because we want like the best quality of the footage. So sometimes when you send them through like Messenger and things, it like downgrades the quality, and we prefer like the YouTube horizontal videos instead of like the vertical. It just makes it a little bit easier to like mesh in well. But definitely Siege, Southeast Game Exchange, fantastic convention. Peer pressure is what happens to me. I bought the Sega cabinet one year. I got into a bidding war with Metal Jesus Rocks, and I left with that Sega cabinet. And then I got into a bidding war on the Mario Kart against Retro Rick and Pixel Game Squad, and
Well, no wonder Retro Rick wanted to flip your table when he was at Torg last year.
yeah, because we both have this ongoing. We're friends. We just both have that ongoing like friendly banter that we do. He's always sending me cool things that he sees. I send him stuff. It's pretty cool. It's fun. It's it keeps it interesting. But yeah, so I was able to get all of that stuff at this convention. They have fantastic stuff, bigger and better every year, more and more vendors, more and more social media content creators. The guy Austin who puts it on, fantastic. He's super kind to everyone, families, friends, like everyone. Super nice, and will shout out like content creators, no matter like how big or small. Definitely great, and really excited for that. And we'll have to get some footage and stuff for the upcoming shows from there. So I'll have to get some things together. Plenty of us together hanging out, content creators, and I can't wait because it's going to be amazing. And I'm just curious to see what I'll find. I'll have some perler bead art like for sale. I'll have my pins and stickers and stuff for free, like always. You know, just things that I just like hand out. And then I'll have some like duplicate items and things like that for sale as well. Just because I don't have space for like multiples of certain things that I've bought many, many, many years ago. So it all just helps. That way it'll just, kind of roll back into the collection with, actual things that I really want. So I'm super excited for that. And then next week, it'll probably be on like the little shorter side just because I have to travel out that way super early in the morning the following day. So can't wait for that. It's going to be a good time, and definitely check out the game room tour. And I talked him into, doing a game room tour too. So you got to follow Tech Buzz. You got to follow his channel if you're on mine, and stay tuned because I think we're going to peer pressure him into doing a game room tour as well.
Yeah, I actually started today. I grabbed my daughter and she started doing some film and B-roll. She's good with stuff like that. So
perfect.
Yeah, so we started doing some of that. So we're hoping to film a little bit tomorrow, maybe Monday, and by next week I should hopefully have it out. I did do a short today. If you do go over to my channel, you'll see a little sneak peek because I've got an arcade room and a console room, so you guys can check that out. But that's what I've got this week. And Brandy's a dirty reseller.
Hey,
she's turning into we're gonna have to do an intervention. We're gonna have
can
to start
I be clean
donating.
now? I can be clean.
Okay, you can be a clean reseller.
Okay.
But we're gonna,
I don't want to like price gouge.
We're gonna have to start taking donations to get you an intervention or something. I don't.
if I buy something for $2, I'll sell it for $5. I'm not gonna sell it.
See,
for like
dirty reseller. I knew it.
No, but if it goes for like 20, I'm making a couple bucks. The next person can resell it, make a couple bucks.
I'm with Game Dad.
Winning.
Filthy reseller. Filthy.
Filthy. No, I want to be clean. I'm a clean one.
If you also are a channel here in the chat room, go ahead and put your. I'm assuming we can do that on YouTube. I don't know if YouTube disabled it. There's a lot of great content creators here in the chat rooms. Go check them out. You might find a lot of different folks that you like. They might even have live shows this weekend and that you didn't know about. So we encourage you guys to also check it out. After all, it's all about the community, and we want to try to encourage you to get to know some of the different people in the community. Well, we had a lot of fun. This was a great show, and I personally want to thank you guys for showing up. Brandy, working with my schedule, at least this week, because of traveling for work. But we'll be back right Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. So get your videos in before Wednesday. And we can show them next week.
I'm excited. Everyone has
too.
given me some great ideas. I'm all ready to change it all up. And, you know, I want to do another game room. I just want to set up. You know what?
Stephanie's going to disown you.
People's game rooms. That
You
could be like a thing.
All right,
Just
you come over mine.
have
Do
me
mine
come
first.
out. I'll organize.
All
Let's
right.
just go. That could be like my new thing.
You can start with mine because I have no I have organization, but it's you can come out and do that. All right, why don't you take us home?
No, thank you guys so much for watching over here, over there, over everywhere, and you can listen to us on all the, you know, the different podcast things and stuff. You know, he knows all the specifics, but we're literally everywhere. You can just Google us, find it. We'll have links. We'll have things posted. Everyone's awesome. You guys are all so nice. Chase is like, come on over and, you know, with the game room. So we'll have to work on that. Maybe we'll do some traveling thing and, you know, help people, like set some things up. You know, these are all great ideas. You guys have great ideas. You guys are awesome. Had a great time. Everyone's laughing now. Probably because I'm just rambling. You know how you do that at the very end? I don't know what else to say. I don't have any raps. We're just rolling with it. Oh man.
I was trying to give Brandy the opportunity to send us home with something powerful.
That's all I got. We're laughing it. We are rolling out.